Hi, I'm Natalie Ledwell and this is The Inspiration Show. Now today, just a little bit of housekeeping to start. I need to announce the winner of the person that won the signed DVD of Discover the Gift. What I asked people to do in the last video was when they purchased the book through Amazon, they sent me the receipt to theinspirationshow@gmail.com. I would randomly pick someone from there to win the DVD. So I'd like to announce that David Nichols is the winner. Now, David, I'll be sending you an email today just to confirm your winnings and to see where we can send that DVD for you. Now today, my passion peep doesn't need any formal introduction. Bob Proctor is known as the grandfather of law of attraction and personal development. He just recently celebrated 50 years of transforming people's lives through his knowledge and his educational materials. He's an amazing legend, and it is my absolute pleasure to introduce you to Bob Proctor, my passion peep for today. See you soon. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Bob, here on the show. It's such a pleasure to see you.
My pleasure, Natalie. Glad to be here.
Excellent. Now, as you know, we ask our passion peeps all the same 5 questions. So the first question I want to ask you is that, you know, the reason that I actually have you here on the show is not only do you live your life of passion, but you inspire actually millions of other people to do the same. But you weren't always living this life. So what was the background that you had, or your story leading up to the life that you live now?
Well, you know, it was a long time ago in one respect, and yesterday it seems like yesterday in another respect. I was losing. I think I was an unhappy kid that just grew up and stayed that way until I was around 26. I had no formal education. I had no business experience. And I think I was like a lot of people. I just figured this is just the way life is, and it wasn't very good. I was unhappy. I was sick. I was broke. Bouncing around from one job to another, and I was not enjoying myself at all. But I didn't know that there was another way. I mean, all the people I hung around with were living exactly the same way, and I think that's one of the problems in life. We get locked into the wrong group, and we think this is it, and this is the way it's got to stay. And of course, it doesn't. But it wasn't a happy time. When I look at the way I live now by comparison, it's almost like a story that I've read of somebody else, and it wasn't a very happy story.
Yeah. And I think I heard stories of you being a janitor and had a cleaning business, and, you know.
Well, that's actually when it started to get good.
Right.
Prior to that, you know, I started my own business and things started to improve, and that's when it started to improve. I got a bucket and a mop and a used floor machine, and I went to work. Somebody told me there was good money, and I was going to earn some money. Now, prior to that, I never even tried to get ahead because I really didn't believe I could. But the cleaning business, I was into Think and Grow Rich by then, and I was rocking. We opened offices in Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, London, England. So the cleaning business is really when I started to move in the right direction.
Right. Okay. So, and you know, you've been, you know, talking and writing books and really motivating millions of people for a very long time now. So, what was, normally I find it's like fine threads or maybe a specific event that got you from the cleaning business into being able to motivate people the way that you do. So what were the kind of events or the fine threads that got you from there to where you are now?
Well, I think the thing that changed, Natalie, is what the thread that you're talking about was what got me into the cleaning and then got me out of it. I was fortunate that I met someone who really believed that I was capable of doing a lot better than I was doing.
Right.
I suppose my mother had and my parents had, but they never really got the idea across to me. A man named Ray Stanford got me to read Think and Grow Rich. And I didn't believe what Hill was saying. Like Napoleon Hill said in the book, he said there's a secret in this book, and if you find the secret, you can have anything you seriously want. Well, I really didn't believe that, but I believed the man that was talking to me believed it. And he was a pretty successful guy, and so I think I believed in his belief in me. Right. And that's when I started the cleaning, and then I got other people cleaning, and of course I was passing along to them what I was getting from him. And I did that for probably 6 to 7 years. And then I realized that cleaning was incidental to what I was doing. I was really helping people make a decision to live a little better life.
Yep.
And Earl Nightingale and Napoleon Hill were the two people that really inspired me. So one day I decided I was going to leave the cleaning business and I was going to come into this business. I would go to work. I wanted to work with Earl Nightingale, and I ended up working with he and Lloyd Conan for 5 years at the Nightingale Conan Corporation. And that's really where I got into this business. Right. And I started to put into more of an organized fashion my way of helping other people.
Right.
And I was really doing what people had done for me.
Yeah. And that reinforces the point that you made before about really it's important to be around people that support you or that believe in you, or in an environment of people that are like-minded, that have a positive mindset, you know. So, you know, Bob, I know that success doesn't just happen. And all successful people that I know have a daily routine or daily ritual or habits that they have that actually help to keep them on track. So what are some of the things that you do on a daily basis that helps to keep you focused?
Well, there's 2 or 3 things, Natalie, and I think you're right. I think all people do that. I was having breakfast with Earl Nightingale one morning when I worked at Nightingale Conan, and I asked him, I always had questions ready whenever I had an opportunity to be alone with him. And I asked him how he learned to master time management. And I'll never forget him looking at me and saying, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I don't master time management." He said, "Time can't be managed." He said, I just manage my activities. And he had a slip of paper that he put in his pocket. It was just an 8.5 by 11 sheet that he folded in 3 ways. And he said, when something comes up that I know has to be done, I write it on that sheet. So every night I take and I jot down the things I know that I have to do today that are important. Now, I may add to that list, but I have that to start off with. I'm in the habit of studying. I study every morning. When I wake up, the first place, if I'm at home, I come to my library that I'm in. Yep. And I pick a book off the shelf just at random, and I start to study it. I do that for probably an hour, and then I go through a ritual of making a list of 10 things that I'm grateful for. I believe if we can get into the habit of being grateful, we're not going to have many problems. So I study every day. I write out what I'm grateful for, and I stay away from anyone that wants to complain or find out what's wrong. They can be right. There's things wrong. Anybody can be right. Any dumbbell can find out what's wrong with anything. Yep. I attempt to stay away from people that are complaining or want to find out what's wrong.
Right, excellent.
So I think the 3 things is this: I study, write out 10 things I'm grateful for, and I have a list of things that I'm going to do today that move me in the direction of my goal. Nothing complicated. It's not rocket science. It's pretty simple, but I do it every day.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I've asked this question of many people, or many of Passion Peeps interviews, and they seem to be the basics that everyone has in their day. You know, so I think we're onto something there. Now, I receive many emails, and I'm sure that you do as well, Bob, of people asking me, how can they stay positive when everything around them is working against them? You know, like, how can they visualize or feel abundant when they don't have enough money to pay their bills? So what kind of advice do you have for people like that?
Well, you know, as you say that, my mind goes back to when I first was given Think and Grow Rich. I owed $6,000 and I was earning $4,000 a year. So, I mean, I really understand the question on a deep cellular level. Everybody was phoning me and asking, where's the money? And I remember I used to think, you know, if I knew where the money was, you wouldn't have to phone me. So I think we have to keep our goal in mind. I had written on a card that I was going to have $25,000. Now, I gave myself a decade to do it. I really didn't believe it would happen, but I kept reading that card. I did what I could about the negatives that I was facing, and then I'd go back to the goal card. You've got to have a goal that you're focused on of something you really want. Everybody's going to get hit with negatives. I get hit with them today, just the same as I did when I first picked up Think and Grow Rich. But I handle them so much better today than I used to. I tuned into the negative. I really don't pay a whole lot of attention to the positive. If it's a problem, I do what I can and then I move on. If I can't do anything about it, I just set it aside and get busy doing the thing that's going to move me in the direction of the goal. But I think you have to train yourself to, first of all, decide what it is you really want. And then you have to focus on what you want. And by doing that, you're taking your mind off the negative. They don't go away. You will look after them, but you're only going to look after them by focusing on something positive.
Yeah.
And it isn't an easy thing to do. If it's a person just starting out, it's a very difficult thing to do. But you've got to do it.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Absolutely. Okay, now I have one more question for you, and it may be hard to narrow this down to one thing, but if you could leave people watching this video today with one thing that they could action right now to facilitate a positive change in their life, what would that one thing be?
That's not difficult at all for me, Natalie. I've been doing it for a long, long time, and I attempt to teach it everywhere I go. You've got to invite discipline into your life. Now, when I was in the Navy, they called punishment discipline. And I grew up with that for a long time. I thought discipline was a form of punishment. Discipline is something that I have found all successful people have incorporated into their life. Discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and then follow it. This I will do. No matter what happens, I'm going to get this done. And without discipline, I think we're stuck.
Yep.
With discipline, I believe we can accomplish anything.
Yep, absolutely. Like just making the decision that you're going to achieve a goal, but then having the discipline to stay the course is the formula for
That's really
success.
the key.
Yeah.
And you see, when John Kennedy asked Dr. Werner von Braun what it would take to build a rocket that would take a person to the moon and then bring them back safely to Earth, he answered him in 5 words. He said, the will to do it. Well, will is what gives us the ability to focus. It's a mental faculty, and it is what gives us the ability to focus on one thing. Discipline is making a decision that that's exactly what you're going to do, and then just absolutely refuse to get knocked off track regardless of what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Bob. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Well, listen, I want to congratulate you and your team. You guys are doing phenomenal work. You really are. And it's doing good work all over the world. So I'm just happy if I can make a contribution to what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Now, if someone wants to find out some more about you, where can we send them? Just go to bobproctor.com. Perfect.
Bobproctor.com, everything's there.
Great. Or you can just click on the banner to the side there. So,
Sure.
So again, thanks a lot, Bob. Remember that if you found anything interesting or useful in this video, make sure that you share the love by clicking the Facebook and Twitter share buttons above. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you leave your email in the box above so that we can send you 6 pre-made My Movies and keep you up to date with all of the upcoming shows. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching this video. Now before you go, do you want to learn the insider secrets to welcoming more abundance, more love and more happiness into your life from some of the world's most inspiring personal growth gurus? Then be sure to click the link below now to subscribe to the Inspiration Show community and be one of the first to find out about brand new episodes of the show. You're absolutely going to love what we have coming up in store for you. Plus, you'll instantly receive a free copy of my Manifesting with the Masters video e-course featuring some of the biggest stars from the movie The Secret, teaching you how to manifest your dream life faster and easier than you ever thought possible. So to get your free copy, be sure to click on the link below now. I'm Natalie Ledwell. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. I'll see you soon.